Hey, everybody. Welcome to Making Connections. This is your girl, Aly. I hope everybody is having an amazing day. Um, it's been a good day so far. I think everybody's chill. The weather's good, and we're just having a good day. So we thank God for that, and we thank God for our guest, Miss Keisha Dixon. How are you today?
Oh, I'm wonderful, Allie. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It's so good to see you
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
again.
excited to be on Making Connections. Thank you so much for the platform.
Yes. And so you guys, you saw all the flyers that went forth, as we were opening up different events and things happening around the city, maybe in your city or close to your city. So definitely check those things out. I know they're having a cookout in Charlotte, the community cookout in Charlotte today. I think it started right now until like 3 o'clock. And in a minute, I'll have the address for you. It's just slipped my mind. But, we're just all about, bringing awareness to things that are going on, bringing awareness to maybe you're somebody who likes to help in the community and you're looking for a place to fit in. Or maybe you're somebody who needs help from the community. And so, we just like to make those connections. And then we bring these magnificent people like Keisha Dixon on who just help us along the journey and, help us figure out, hey, maybe why am I stuck right here? What's going on? What do I need to think about? What do I need to change or what should shift? What should I just be grateful for, right? Because I love being in her group because she's always, about gratitude and, what can you be grateful for? And she gives us these empowering, statements. But I'm going to calm down. I get excited because I love talking to Keisha. But Keisha, I know you've been here before, but maybe this is the first time somebody has met you. I want to give you opportunity to tell people a little bit about yourself and then we'll jump into it.
Okay, great. I'm Keisha Dixon. I am a mother of six, grandmother of four, and 4 years ago, I left my 33-year corporate career to become a wealth embodiment coach, opening up my own business and helping other female entrepreneurs to really step into the most empowered version of themselves as they double, triple, 10x their income doing exactly what they love. And I am also the author of a guided journal, Intention Command Your Day, 90 Days of Abundance and Manifestation. And I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
We're having a little family reunion today.
Yes.
So, just even, you talking about that. What was that like? I mean, you had been on that job 33 years. You were making good money,
Mhm, mhm.
and then all of a sudden you were like, I think I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, it was exciting and it was scary. And it also was not an overnight decision for me, Allie. I knew, and I was coaching on the side. I knew that I desired to leave what I refer to as those golden handcuffs. And it was a blessing. It was a blessing on paper, and it was a blessing in my life and my family's life to have this career. But I knew there was something more. I had a desire for something more. And I was scared. I was so scared to really step out on my own and meet not only my requirements but my desires in a financial way. And so I gave myself a year um, to really get my act together, get a client base that was going to support my requirements and my desires as far as income coming in. Gave myself a year. The year came up, and guess what happened?
What?
Nothing. I didn't have anything together. Because fear fear was ruling the day. And like that year came, and I looked at it on my calendar, and I felt so much disappointment in myself. Like,
Mm.
why can't I get this together? I see other people doing this, why can't I do it? And so at that point, that day, I doubled down. Like, I doubled down on the internal work, the internal landscaping. I addressed those fears, I addressed those programs that I had grown up with or that society tells us. And I really addressed, well, is this true for me? 12 weeks later, I woke up. It was April 20th. I woke up literally and figuratively. And I knew, like, I knew that I knew. Like, I know my name is Keisha. Doesn't matter what anyone else calls me. I know my name is Keisha.
Mhm.
I knew that I deserved happiness. And I quit that day. I over the phone. Not not, not only did I burn the bridge, I burned the boat. And I
Mm,
leapt out and here I am. I started my own coaching business. And about a week later my calendar was filled.
wow.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I mean, this is what this is about, telling people the truth. You
Yeah.
could come out and be like, I came out and I have this many clientele, da 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 da. But we don't always tell the journey. You know,
Yeah, no, it
you,
was
you honestly said, okay,
hard.
that year went by and you were like, that was my decision day, and I still hadn't gotten it together. I still really
Yeah,
didn't know what I was. I wasn't on the path of what I saw when I was, when
right.
I was saying I wanted to leave. But you stayed the course because still you knew on the inside, okay, like you said, I deserve to be happy. I deserve wealth. I deserve these things. Um, this is my passion and I have to go after that. And a lot of times, there's so many people, I know I'll speak for myself. Even me, still, I'm on that journey.
Yeah. Oh,
And I'm
me too.
like, I don't want to continue doing this until I'm 67 and a half
Mm,
and only having this when I retire at 67 and a half.
yeah, yeah.
So the only way something is going to change is if I change it.
Yes, and even as we're talking, like, 4 years ago, I don't think I put it together in the way that I'm putting it together now. That year of my planning and being with the fear and really still like, "Oh, but this is what I desire, this is what I desire." What I hadn't worked through was, "This is what I deserve. I deserve happiness. I deserve to have my joy." Right? So, it
Yeah.
was in those 12 weeks that I was really embracing my deservingness of joy, happiness. That's what turned the key for me, and this isn't about bashing anyone who has a
Oh,
9
yeah.
to 5, because you could be in your joy in your 9 to 5.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Exactly. As long as you're in your joy. Because I was thinking about that too. It's like everybody may not want to be an entrepreneur. I mean,
Yeah.
and this is not, this is the only, example that came to my mind, but you might love being an executive assistant, but are
Mhm.
you at the place where you're being appreciated? You could be an amazing executive assistant, but maybe you need to be somewhere else where you're appreciated, where you can truly flow in your gift. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's not down in anybody. Whatever your amazingness is awesome. But if it's still a struggle to go there every day, then there still needs to be a shift, wouldn't you say?
I would say that there needs to be a tremendous shift and that shift occurs within you first, because they as within, so without. As you treat yourself, as you know what you deserve, that's what you're going to see on the external world.
Mm. And I like what you keep saying, that deserving, because we might desire something, but if we don't think we deserve it, we're not going to go after it. I might desire to live in this neighborhood, but if I don't feel like I fit in or I deserve to be there, then I'm not going to apply to be in that neighborhood, right?
I love what you just said because it's so subtle. Like when we talk about, oh, yeah, and deservingness, and it is about deservingness. When we talk about that, a lot of people are like, I know that I deserve. I know in my head that I deserve. You said some words that were like so key, the subtleties, right? This is a very nuanced conversation. I don't feel like I fit in.
Mhm.
Now, I suspect that the majority of people have at one point or another in their life have had that feeling. I don't feel like I fit in. I don't fit in here. That is deservingness. It's subtle, but that is
Um,
deservingness.
that is.
Mhm.
Mm. It is those little things, those little, because even it over the years when I've talked to you, it's like, I might say something, and we're either in session or we're just talking, and you might say a different word, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that this statement was taking me down this path, you know?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so powerful because it is it's our thoughts, right? That's the mindset piece. The words that come out of our mouth. We are such powerful co-creators. And our co-creation springs out of our mouth. It springs in what we write down, in what we speak out into existence. And because we were created by the creator to create, what we speak out into existence cannot come back to us void. And when you
Mm.
take some time to take a breath and really see what you're speaking out, you might like take a day of silence to grab yourself and snatch yourself together and
Exactly.
start speaking out life as opposed to apologetic living.
Yes, you're like, where's my eraser? Let me get rid of that. I didn't mean to
What
say.
I've been doing, my eraser, I've calibrated these words to be my eraser, like, "Oh, I'm walking that back." I just say, "Walking that back."
Yeah, I've
And then
heard
I
you say
speak
that.
out what I want, yes,
I
what I
like the way
want
you do that
instead,
because
what I desire instead.
it's because it like it'll catch you and you'll be like, wait, let me, no, I'm walking that one back. I'm walking that one back. I like the, so now I understand what's going on when you're doing that.
Yes.
Yes, and so again, that's our topic is about unbecoming the the gift, and then I missed it at first, and I was like, because I thought you meant like a B, or we could say lessons along the journey, but then I've noticed the B in front of it's a blessing.
Yes.
It's just spelled a little different because sometimes the lesson, the lesson is the blessing, but in the unbecoming, because we've been taught that the blessing is only the good stuff. The blessing was when it happened for you. The blessing is when everything came together. The blessing is when it brought you joy. But no, there's also blessing in that, what's the word I'm looking for?
In the challenge.
Challenge. Thank you.
Yeah, there is. Thank you for saying that. There is blessing in the challenge. There's blessing in everything because everything really is just feedback, as far as I'm concerned. It's
Mhm.
feedback of who we're being as human beings.
Right. Right. And so, it's okay to, and we have to sit with that too. Okay, what was the blessing, the lesson in this, you know? so that I don't go down this path again. But what can I take from what I learned in this situation or this circumstance and use it to catapult me to the next place?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that everything, every aspect of life, every breath that we draw, every moment that we have brings with it a gift, including those things that feel intense. They feel like a contrast of maybe exactly what you want, but yes.
So let's explain, or I'm going to listen as you explain the unbecoming gift. Or the
Okay.
gift of unbecoming. How, you give it to us. I'm just like sitting here waiting.
So, excuse me. So a few weeks ago, I've recently moved to a new home in Albany, a home that was gifted to me.
Yes.
Manifestation, manifestation, manifestation. But anyway, um, my sister, this is my sister's home as well. It was her home first. Um, she has really good friends out here, and we had gone to visit and go to a barbecue at one of her really good friends' house. And so about 2 days later, he called on a Monday and said, "Hey, do you wanna come for coffee?" Because he knew I work from home. So I was like, "Great." My sister gave me the address. She went off to do whatever she was doing that day. And I said, "I know it didn't take long in the car." He's, like, in the neighborhood. I hadn't been to his house by foot before, but I was like, "Let me take a walk over there." So I put the directions in Siri. Well, I asked Siri for the directions, and I set off this hot, blistering morning to take a quick walk to go get coffee. And Siri had me make a turn. And I thought to myself, that's not right. But I'm new to the neighborhood. What do I know? So I made
Mhm.
the turn. Then Siri had me make more turns. And the landscape started to look unfamiliar. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to continue listening to the directions. When we drove to his house, it was at night. So what do I know? And yeah, it didn't take long in the car, but I was in conversation with my sister. And there was all of this doubt speaking over
Mhm.
this doesn't seem right. About 2 hours later, 4.4 miles later,
Oh.
Siri got me to the address that Siri had decided was the address I wanted. Now I had asked for, let me remember, it was Keller Street, and Siri took me to Keeler Street.
Oh,
It was
wow.
off by one vowel and one consonant. So I was like, how did I get here? That's when I finally like looked down and looked and saw, oh wow, the address wasn't right. I was on my programming of listening to the authority in this case, or the system, in this case, Siri, Google Maps, knew more than my internal voice of this isn't right, where I was going, what I desired. I was on my programming. Now, all of us have been programmed up until this point with lots and lots and lots of things, right?
Right.
And some of those things are not serving us. Some of those things are giving us the illusion that we're not a success. And
Mhm.
we are already, all of us are a success. And we've experienced, every single person has already experienced success. They've experienced the success of coming through. They came through. Not only are they success, they are a living miracle to have come through. And it doesn't matter if they came through, of what family they came through, or even the events of their birth. That doesn't matter. The fact is they came through. If they're listening to this, they came through and they're alive. You're alive, right?
Right.
Which means you already are success. It is a miracle to be here. You defied the odds to get
Yeah.
here. You are a success. And so success is simply a remembrance. There isn't a handbook, as a lot of us have learned, of what success is. It's simply a remembrance of who you are. And to get to that point, there is this unbecoming the programmed version of you who has told you that you're not already a success. Unbecoming, listening, perhaps in my case, unbecoming the person who follows all the rules, even if it's getting her 4.4 miles down the road from where she wanted to be,
Right. Right.
which was only a mile away.
Oh.
I'm becoming the version of you who was told that the Smiths, the Johnsons, the Dixons don't fit in certain neighborhoods, right? I'm
Mhm.
becoming the version of you that says the only way to succeed is to get XYZ education and to stay in a job, whether you like it or not, for 30 plus years until retirement. I'm
Mhm.
becoming the version of you that says, you pay taxes and then you die. You work hard, pay taxes, and then you die. Success for every single person is going to mean something different. And success means that you've walked, for me anyway, you've walked through this journey being the best version of joy and peace and love that you could possibly be for yourself first, so that you can love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Mhm. I don't even know where to start. It's so much goodness.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, because again, it's like you said, okay, for I'll talk. We're talking about ourselves because we're not pointing any fingers at
Yep.
anybody else. But for me, when I was growing up, that was what I was told. Look, you need to find a job. You need to stay on that job. Get some seniority because people with seniority get all the first perks. Uh, Seniority doesn't play out anymore like it did in those days.
Mm.
In those days, it worked, but it doesn't anymore. But if you're still sitting there and you're trying to make a system work that doesn't even work anymore, it's not going to get you anywhere. So you have to figure out, okay, what's working? Where do I need to unbecome in this idea because it's not happening for me? So where do I need to change my line of thinking? Where do I need to, what's next? Because you don't want to sit there in lack, waiting for something to develop that's not even there. Am I making sense?
You're making perfect sense. I mean, you got me when you said the system isn't working, because systems, as we know them, are collapsing. And people say that and like, well, systems are collapsing. It's almost become cliche. And systems are collapsing. 2020, the year 2020 is a prime example of systems
Mhm.
collapsing. Everybody, in quotes, certainly not everybody, but a lot of, and I'm talking about in the US, I can't speak to other countries. A
Right,
lot of employees in the US were not doing remote work. They were
right,
going to the office, clocking in and clocking out, whether they clocked in or clocked out, right?
right,
Sitting there, taking up space, and doing the same routine over and over. 2020 hit, and those employees who remained employed started taking up more space in their personal residence and doing work effectively, to the point where they didn't even want to go back to the office because they saw, well, that system collapsed. And there are people who are trying to revive it, but it's collapsed.
right,
And people also discovered, while they were playing the home version of business, it's not about the commute. It wasn't about being with their coworkers. It was about, this thing does not light me up, and so I'm going to resign, the Great Resignation, and I'm going to do something that lights me up. Systems are collapsing.
true. And again, another thing, like you said, another reason was because it's like, oh my gosh, I've invested so much time here and I haven't been living. Like you said, I haven't been lit up every day that I wake up. But when I wake up at home and I have these other ideas going on, and I see the possibilities of what can happen, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I wasn't being lit up. And I think that's
Yeah.
what happens a lot of times. We get so much into the system and because the system goes on clockwork. The system, it doesn't matter what's happening. You know, um, we do Duke Power here. It doesn't matter whether there's been death in your family. It doesn't matter if your job shut down for 2 weeks. On the 27th, your bill is due. It's in the system, and you have to work around that, no matter what's happening in your life, right? And
Right.
people just like, I'm tired of the system running my life.
Yes. And that's the unbecoming, because it's not the system's job for you to be happy. The system is simply a program. It's your responsibility. For you to be accountable for your own happiness, for you to be accountable for your own joy, for you to be accountable for your own life's journey.
But I thought if I went to work and I worked in this place for 30 years, it would just happen because I'd have great friends that I've worked with for 30 years and we had family together, we did things together, and this job would give me my gold watch. And I thought that was, you know, that's not happiness.
I don't know. It might be for some
It might be
people.
for
It
somebody,
wasn't
right?
for me. And without judgment, it just certainly wasn't for me. And and yeah. So
But you have to
I
ask those.
unbecame. I untethered myself from the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes because you really have to ask your questions, is this happiness? Am I going to these functions just because I want to stay here for these 30 years, get that go watch? Or am I going to this function because these are people I enjoy being around? They, like you said, light me up. They have empowered me and inspired me to be the best that I can be. You have to ask yourself those questions.
Yeah.
And even when you were on your path and you said, I'm going to take this year, like you said, you had to do some internal work there, right?
Oh, yes. It was, honestly, it was all internal work. It was an internal game. There was a lot of untethering to do, including, I ran several departments, and there was, a huge part of my identity was wrapped up in my title. And so I had to go through the unbecomingness, which felt really wobbly for me, of who am I
Mhm.
without the title, without that particular guaranteed salary, without the six-figure bonuses. Who am I? And I had to really work through that. It was a journey for me.
It is a journey. And, sometimes I'll say for me, sometimes it made me cry. Sometimes it made me upset. But, I'm still just on that journey because I know that there's more. And I know, and I've said it to you before, I was like, I may have looked back at something I started 4 years ago. And I was like, what if I had stayed on the path? And it's not condemning, but it's just saying, what if you had stayed the course? Where would you be now? What would you be? Where would you be living? Where would you be traveling to? What would your bank account be? But I didn't want 4 years from now to be making that same statement. What
Yes.
if I had stayed the course? So I just
Yes.
decided, just this time we just stay in the course, however it goes, whether it goes over the waves, whether it goes straight sometimes, I just stay in the course because I, there's something that I desire. There's
Right.
more that I desire to be or to live, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. I know it sounds a little gruesome, but when I think about death, when I think about death, no one is going to be standing up saying, "Oh, well, and she worked, she was the director of XYZ." Like, including
Right.
me. I'm not going to be saying that either.
True, true.
But what I think about it in death is they're gonna say she lived her life. She was full of joy. Oh my God, she created worlds with her imagination. She was so inspiring and encouraging. She really manifested in within moments. Like that's what they're gonna say.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Everybody that's in that 100, what is your group called?
$100,000 minute with Keisha Dixon.
Everybody in that group, that's the kind of stuff they're going to be saying. Oh my gosh, I could get online and I would not know what I was going to do for the day. Or I would wake up and I would see a post about gratitude. And, it helped me to start my day off, kick it off, and to change it up, to shift it, because I remembered I could be grateful for something. Wherever I
Mm,
was, I could be grateful in that moment. I could be
yes.
grateful that I still woke up to change it up. I could still be grateful that I still had opportunities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and even yes. Oh my gosh, gratitude changes everything. And when you feel into this gratitude stacking, when you feel into what you're grateful for, reach for, oh, and what would feel even better than this? And then choose that, right? And what would feel even better than that? And choose that. Yeah.
Mm,
Mm.
mm,
I love a gratitude stack.
exactly. And sometimes you gotta unbecome to be in that gratitude, because gratitude will say, like you said, what's even better than that? So choose that. But
Yeah.
the system would be like, but do you even know what's over there at that?
Right.
you need to stay here because we know what's here, we know what's safe. Are you sure you're going to choose that?
Yes, and gosh, Allie, you are a genius. This is great flow. Then when you just said the system will say, "We don't know what's over there," now we're talking about the real system, and that is the subconscious mind, whose
Mm,
sole job is to keep you safe. And so when you start hearing the voices internally of, "We don't know what's over there. We're safe here. We might not be happy, but we're safe right here. We don't know what's over there." That's your subconscious. And that's the internal work, right? Chain um allowing yourself to alchemize and transform those thoughts into more empowering, more empowerment, right? More empowering thoughts, words, frequencies, the energy around you. And
mm,
that's what's really causes the change in the change at a subconscious level that you're consciously aware of, and the two things are in agreement.
mm. And I like the way you said, because that was eye opening too. It's like sometimes, because sometimes you get down on yourself, you're like, okay, why can't I do something different? I desire more. Why don't I do it? What's wrong with me? And then, in different sessions we've had, you were talking about that. Internally, your subconscious tries to keep you safe. It's known that you've been hurt before.
Mhm.
And so it tries to tell you, okay, you remember when you tried this last time? It didn't work. But there's something also on the inside that you said, okay, I appreciate you reminding me of that, but we're going to try it again. But when we try it this time, this is where I saw the break in the pattern. So we're going to fix this right here, and we're going to keep on going. It's just like we're building a house. As
Yeah.
the builders are building, they might see a crack in a brick, so they don't just tear down everything. They take that brick out, or they fix that area so that
Yes.
it can be stabilized, and we can continue building. They don't just stop and say, I tried it one time, got a crack
Burn
in a
it
brick.
down.
I'm never doing that again.
No. Yes, you get to, at all times, renegotiate with your subconscious. You get to retask versions of yourself or versions of your subconscious that is like, "Ah, no, we're not gonna do that. Give it another task." Right? And you and,
Yeah.
and and you get to carry these conversations on in a very conscious way of, "Yeah, I've got this. This is what we're doing. I know. Thank you. I know that you love me. I know that you're protecting me. Thank you so much. I've got this." And negotiate.
Right. And
Mm.
and even, maybe I'm gonna get to a place again where I get stuck. I appreciate you being there for me, but
Right.
we gotta keep going because we haven't. Because still, what did we say we really desired, though? Subconscious mind.
Right.
Where did we say we really wanted to live? What did we say we wanted to do for our parents? What school did we say we wanted to be able to send our children to, whether they decide to go there or not? We wanted to have the ability to do it. So you
Yeah.
also have to remind them, okay, but see, we got somewhere to go. And
Yes.
so you were doing a video this week, and you're talking about stacking. Go ahead and tell me. I can't remember how
The
you said it.
the gratitude stack.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
the oh my
Where we had
gosh.
the 5 ideas that,
Yes.
from the
Yes.
past.
I got this from, oh wow, I should have written this down. From an author of the last law of attraction book you will ever need. I do not recall the author's name, but it's this is not my idea. But I've been doing it, and
Yeah,
it's
you were sharing it.
been,
Yes, yes.
yes, yeah. So what you do, I'm trying to think of the name of this practice, but what you do is you think of and write down on a piece of paper 5 things that you're really grateful for, that occurred in the past. And you write down what you're grateful for and why you're so grateful for it, right? Because and why. You write down, and this is for manifesting. Then you write down 5 things that you've manifested and you're grateful for that are happening right now in the present, and why you're grateful for them. and for this manifestation that's presently happening. And then on that same piece of paper, you write down 5 things that you desire to see manifested in your life and why you're grateful for, why you would be grateful for it when it comes as well. So now on a separate piece of paper in your journal, you're going to look at those 15 things and you're going to you journal about them in present tense as if they're happening today. And you don't go in any particular order. You go in a random order. So you might take for the first sentence, I'm grateful for this thing that I'm thankful and grateful for this thing that happened today. And you could take from any one of those 3 lists and why you're grateful for it. And then you take from another list. Today, I am grateful for everything is in present tense. What happens with this gratitude stacking is and then when you're done, you read it back to yourself slowly. And between each sentence, you feel into the gratitude for 20 to 90 seconds. And if you're able to, just like envision that gratitude coming out of your heart and into your room. And if you see colors when you do, then see the color of that. What happens is, as you're reading the list of gratitudes from whatever portion of the list it is, and you sit in that gratitude, your subconscious mind cannot tell if it happened yesterday, if it happened today, or if it's happening tomorrow. It is now. It's happening now for your subconscious. And what begins to happen is you'll see unfold those things that you're desiring to have manifest. And it happens really quickly. Have you been trying it, Aly?
I have. I didn't do it on a regular basis, like I said I was gonna do for the 7 days. But yeah, it's just like, I mean, and for me, one of the big things for me right now is just having calmness and peace. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not even asking for like income yet, because I know if I can stay in that state of peace and calm, that my other thoughts flow freely, and
Mhm.
I do, even acquire clients because I'm in a more peaceful state. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so, and it's just amazing. Like some days I wake up and I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, I'm so at peace. And when you're not used to that, you're like, okay, so what's about to happen? And I'm like, no, no, we're gonna stay in this gratitude. We're gonna be thankful because whatever is coming next, I'm able to handle it. Because I've seen this happen before. Da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? It really, I don't know. It just creates this like atmosphere, like you said, that it's like an open portal.
Yeah, because your subconscious isn't doing all of the mental loops of trying to stop you from the change. It's experiencing it as it is now. Now, you said something interesting that, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. That that's coming up and you're saying, "Oh no, I'm going to be in the calm." That's actually running another part of the show for you. And I heard it early on. I wasn't sure what it was, but it
Mhm.
spoke. Um, you said, "Oh yeah, I haven't been doing it consistently in all the 7 days." That's because the voice of what's going to happen now that I'm
Mhm.
feeling this peace is what is self-sabotaging. It's running the show and I'm not gonna have time to feel the peace today because yeah. So I'm not gonna do this practice today. I'm not gonna take the
Yeah.
3 to 5 minutes to do this. Um, and as you know, peace is, I mean, yeah, peace is amazing, and it's not mutually exclusive from income. You can have both. You could put 50 things on there and decide, I deserve that.
See why I like Keisha? See? See why we stay close to her, because it's just like, okay, oh, okay, okay, this is what was happening. And then too, we do sometimes we think everything it's in its own box.
Right.
We don't think that all this stuff can really flow together. Like I can't really have peace, but then have clientele and
See,
have
and that's the
prosperity.
yeah, so that's we were talking about unbecoming.
Mm,
That's okay, so that's a program that says it has to be one or the other. It can't be and both.
mm,
So that's a program to untether yourself from. And
gotcha.
that's a big program. And if you think about it, you could probably, if you think about different categories of your life, you can probably see that programming running through all of those categories.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
You call me.
I love this show because I get free on the show too. So I'm hoping y'all are embracing, what you're hearing and experiencing. I don't mind being, the one to, be the example because
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, and I go through this all the time. That's why, because a lot of times these programs, they don't feel like limitations. They almost feel neutral to us. It just feels like fact. So much so they're in our blind spot. That's why it's really powerful to work with a coach or a healer, when you're seeking these to untether yourself
yeah.
from limitations. And you never wake up in the middle of the night like, I want to untether myself from limitations. No. You wake up in the middle of the night and you're usually thinking, I need, or I want, or why hasn't this happened yet? And
Hmm.
that's when I know for myself, oh, there's some unbecoming that's going to happen so that I can become that version of success that's calling to me, that desire that's calling to me. And a lot of people say universe, I say God. I truly believe that God has not given me any desire to tease me. And I believe
Mm,
all of my desires are because I've been created to create by the creator. All of my desires are sent to me from the creator and they're emerging out from me. And so they weren't given to me to tease me so that I could have a miserable hell-like condition here on earth. No.
mm,
I believe that all of my desires are given to me so that I can create heaven on earth, not only for myself, but for others.
yeah. Oh yeah, because that's. Ooh, now Keisha, I'm gonna have to turn the fan on and get.
I know, I'm like fanning myself.
Ooh, I'm like, yes, I can feel that. It's like coming from my core everywhere. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, it's time. And that's why these conversations are so good, because now God must be speaking. Okay, it's time. There was a block somewhere, but now it's time for you to open up. It's time for you to figure out, or to contact, the healer that, I mean, because I know there's somebody out there and they're like, I need more Keisha in my life. So, I do
Mm,
want to take this opportunity for you to tell people more about, what you do and how they can reach out to you because oh my gosh, it's just so much. And we can't do it all. We don't know everything. And so we
no,
have to realize we need help sometimes along the way. And don't
especially
go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Especially with the blind spots. Like if you keep running into
Yeah,
the same issue, you can best believe there's a blind spot. I mean, and blind spots means you can't see it. I am a coach and I go to coaches. I go to healers because I can't always, like, the way I'm able to pick up on others people's stuff isn't the same way I can pick up on my own all the time.
right.
Yeah.
And even when you're saying that, I like to, give examples just the way I am. But, just think about it. Back in the day, on our cars, a lot of times people would have accidents because they didn't see somebody in their blind spot.
Right.
So now, insurance company, car companies, whoever, like, hey, we're wasting, we're spending out too much money. What can we do? So now they put this little signal for you to say, oh, hey, there's something there in your blind spot. So, you need that signal to help you figure out what's in your blind spot. Those signals are people like Keisha Dixon, who is on the journey, who has done the work, and trust me, is always, going to share with you from her heart. She's going to be honest with you. I know I can hear somebody saying, yeah, I went to a coach, they just wanted my money, da 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 da. Okay,
Mm,
so that happened. And Keisha and I had talked about this before. It happened. I gave, I didn't get, but I still have a desire. I still have some work to do. So I had to keep looking till I found the right person for me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and even in experiences where it's interesting, where, if anyone is out there thinking, "Yeah, I went to a coach and it didn't work for me." Um, one, something is always coming out of it, and I'm not saying that whoever you went to wasn't looking for one thing or the other. I don't know. And there's a little bit of a victim speak going on there in that very thing. Because if you didn't receive what you were promised or looking for, you, being a fully actualized adult, can ask for what you desire, ask for what you need, have those courageous conversations,
Hmm.
right?
True.
Yeah. Get your refund, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, yeah. Even that part, because
Hmm.
sometimes we're like, well, I'm not gonna ask for my money back or whatever. But whatever it is you have to do, like you said, be honest about yourself. Okay, maybe
Right.
you didn't really even show up.
Right.
So you have to be honest about what happened in that.
Yeah.
But do you stop?
Yeah. And if you didn't show up, it wasn't for lack of trying. I'm sure it wasn't. There were some other underlying things going on. And so that's why with coaching, it's so important to have a co-creative container where there is mutual respect and open communication, and there's no hierarchy of, well, I'm the coach, I'm the mentor, so I know best. No, a coach is there
Mm.
to hold up the mirror and help you adjust your crown on how great and how much of a success you are.
Ooh, and that's even the unbecoming of thoughts of, what a coach should be. I'm just supposed to go and just listen to everything they say. But that space is so precious when you can that place where, you know, okay, they listen and they give advice. I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to use the right words.
Yeah, I'm not I won't say anything. Go
um,
ahead.
no, 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 not just for you, but just people listening. I mean, I guess this is what I'm gonna say. There is if there's a passion on the inside of you, if there's a place that you haven't reached yet in your life, it's it's obtainable. You can get there. Whatever the work is, whether it's, in the family, in yourself, whether
Mhm.
it's, finding a coach, just do what you need to do to get there. And it's even like with medicine. Sometimes I tell people, okay, I don't know what all these medicines are for. I don't know but if the doctor tells you to take it, maybe you have to take it for a season. That doesn't
Mm,
mean you have to take it always. Even if you're like, let's just say weight loss, maybe you're doing something to jumpstart you until
mm,
you are able to do it yourself, until
mm.
you are able to make that decision to eat better, until you are able to make that decision that how you prepare your meals better. You know what I'm saying? But you
Yeah.
got to do something to get started. I guess that's what I'm saying.
You have to do something different if you're looking for different results. So, and in doing something different doesn't have to be something drastic. It's just doing something different could simply be the raising of your hand, like, yeah, I need someone to witness me through this.
Yes.
I need to bounce some ideas off of someone. I'm not seeing something. That could be the doing something different.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Listen, whew, I'm just excited. I think
Yes.
just
Anyway.
excited. And I'm grateful that, I can listen. If you're a woman and you're listening to this video, you've got to get in Keisha's group because she
Yes.
shares lots of valuable, I mean, she shares her life basically. She shares her journey and how
Yeah.
it's taken her. I mean, when she was telling that story about the walk to the neighbor's house, I was like, girl, I would have called like a Uber. have been like, "Can you come
I
get
called
me
an
right
Uber going
now?"
home.
But you didn't do it until you got to that destination. I was like, after an hour, I'd have been like, I don't know where I am. I've been calling that friend. Can you come pick me up? Somebody come get me because I can't get back. But
Listen,
you stayed the course, and then you went home and freshened up, put the right address in, and went back to where you were initially intended to be. And I was
yes.
like, "You're good," because they wouldn't have found me that day. Yeah, no. And so sometimes, it's just a lot of encouragement. It's some great women in there doing great things. And so, Keisha, tell them again about your group and how they can
Yes,
follow you.
the group is on Facebook. It's a free group. It's called the $100,000 Minute Group with Keisha Dixon. It's a great time to join. Everyone in there is phenomenal. If you are in business for yourself, you can certainly promote your business and do shares in there as well. And for the summer, we are doing Neville Goddard readings, which is like lighting me all the way up because one of my superpowers is my imagination. I create worlds with my imagination. And so Neville Goddard talks about that all the time. So it's like delicious. So please come join us there. We cannot wait to see you.
Yes. And she'll go live, and then she goes live with other guests. Um what's the young lady that talked about our nervous system and all our
Chakras?
yes.
Was she on recently?
I'm not sure. Her name starts with an S. I think that's some.
Her name starts with, oh gosh.
Never mind.
Oh, Shayna.
Shayna. Yes, yes.
Shayna, yeah, Shayna F. Woods. She is a powerful, powerful expert in human design and how you can use your human design for everything within your life.
Hmm. So see, there's so much goodness in there. So if you're a lady and you're listening, definitely join the group. It's amazing. And
Yeah,
so
we have a few
we're
men
gonna
in
take
there too. Just a few.
well, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more with Keisha Dixon. But Keisha, when we come back, I want you to take this opportunity, tell people how they can get your book.
Okay.
Tell them again how they can follow you and what the title of your group means. Like, because when you say that, every time you say that, I'm like, "Ah, really? I'm like, how many minutes are
Okay.
there a day?" And then like your either last word of advice on unbecoming or just whatever's laid on your heart.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
everybody stay tuned. We will be back with Keisha Dixon right after this commercial.
Thanks.
Thank you for being such a wonderful listening audience, whether you were listening live or on the replay. And don't forget to like our Facebook page, Making Connections with Aly and Shay, so that you can get notified every time we go live. Do you have a burning message to share with the audience? Contact Aly Johnson at info@alysiajohnson.com. That's info@ALYSSIAJOHNSON.com with your topic idea and your message to be booked on the show. And if you're an inspirational speaker or a motivator or simply seeking a platform to share your message, contact Miss Aly Johnson at info@alysiajohnson.com. That's info@ALYSSIAJOHNSON.com to be considered for 30 to 60 minutes of weekly airtime right here on the Making Connections Network. Again, contact Aly Johnson at info@alysiajohnson.com. That's info@ALYSSIAJOHNSON.com to be considered for 30 to 60 minutes of weekly airtime, your own radio show right here on the Making Connections Network.
Did y'all
We're back.
recognize that voice?
I listened to it. I'm like, oh, that's me.
was like, I wish I could see her face when it starts.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's me. I want to share quickly the story about the $100,000 Minute, which is the name of the group, the $100,000 Minute with Keisha Dixon. It's a great story of unbecoming. When I worked in corporate, we would receive bonuses, year-end bonuses. And there was one particular year, I knew my bonus amount, and the next day it was supposed to be transferred. Yeah, I would receive the direct deposit in my Chase account. And it was interesting because I don't recall the exact circumstances, but it was probably I was overdue on a bill. But I remember waking up in the middle of the night worried that the money wouldn't be there. And it was over $100,000. And at 9 a.m., the money still wasn't there. And I was like, well, maybe because it's such a large amount, it's going to take a little while. At 12 noon, it wasn't there. And then I started to like hyperventilate. so I called I want to get her title right, not FO, the controller. I called the controller and I said, I know that the deposits were supposed to hit today. Were there any hiccups? Because it hasn't hit my account yet. And so she said, no, there were no hiccups that I've heard. And she asked me to hold for a minute. And she says, we see that there was something off in the account number. Confirm your account number for me. So I did that. And she goes, all right, I'm going to have this taken care of. Now in my head, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to wait another day or two. She called me 1 minute later and said, it's been transferred. It's all taken care of. So it was over $100,000 in a minute. Now, when I went full time to become an entrepreneur as a coach, this was 4 years ago. And there was a lot of talk about $10,000 months seemed to be like a very prevalent goal at that time. And I was sitting with a coach and she said something like, yeah, getting to $100,000 a year or six figures, it takes some time and lots of hard work. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It takes a minute. I already have evidence. It takes a minute. It's happened for me. I know it happens. And the moment I said that, it was like I really physically embodied it. And then my clients started receiving more money in a month than they had in the previous year. So that's how the name of the group came up, $100,000 Minute, because I know it happened. You can't tell me my experience wasn't my experience.
Right. I love it. I love that story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So tell everybody how they can find your book and,
Yes.
your last words of encouragement before we leave.
My self-guided journal is called Intention Command Your Day, 90 Days of Abundance and Manifestation. This looks all worn because it's what I'm using right now. And you can find that on Amazon. Please join the group 100,000. Thank you. Get the book. $100,000 Minute Group with Keisha Dixon. And if you would like information on unbecoming, in 5 weeks of unbecoming and deprogramming from those stories that are keeping you stuck so that you can create a new relationship with money and success, then reach out to me at Keisha@awellexperience.me. And for my last final words, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And say with your full chest, I am success.
I am success.
Yes.
Yes. I see Miss Tanya's on and she says she's ordering the book right now.
Hey, Miss Tanya. Thank you. I appreciate you. Join the group.
Yes, definitely. All right, Keisha. Man,
Thank you so much,
I just
Aly.
want
This
to
has been
look. I just
awesome.
want to tell Alan, keep rolling, Alan. But I know we gotta go. But there's still time. We're gonna bring you back. Let's see. Is she here in North Carolina? She's not in North Carolina. She's in New York right now.
Yes, I'm in Albany, New York.
Yes. And so Tanya said she will join the group. So I'm excited. And again, thank you, Keisha. I
You're
love
very
it.
welcome.
I appreciate everything that you do. I appreciate who you are in my life. And, I'm just excited to see what is yet to unfold. And so thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate who you are and who you be every single day. I so appreciate this platform that you've provided for me and for other people. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. So you guys know we are making connections with Aly. We are here every Saturday at 12 noon and every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you go like the Facebook page, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live with these wonderful videos. We've also connected our YouTube page, so now the videos will be on YouTube. We're also on Instagram. Yeah, and Jonathan Coleman, who's on here, is going to help me with Instagram because y'all already know. But I'm excited. I'm excited.
You're doing the thing, Aly.
Yes, because I'm already
Cheers.
success. I don't have to wait for something else.
Yes,
I'm already
you
success.
are success.
So here's
Cheers.
to success. And as always, until next time, we're leaving you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Some